advancement, integration, and full consciousness. We will look through the lens of the spiritual teachers, gurus, yogis, and saints. And we will also look through the lens of you who are awakening on your spiritual path and beginning your higher service to others. So the journey to full consciousness, first of all, is a highway. In our community, everybody is awakening very fast. We have a highway approach to bring you to full consciousness, because that's where you truly become yourself again. That's where you work through some of the key obstacles and open up your consciousness to be receptive of your natural self. You become receptive of God consciousness. We align you and help you out to get there as soon as possible, but also in an optimal way, not to push you too much. What you can handle, everybody has their pace, their speed. The second step that happens, and now there are many people in our community who are in full consciousness. And lately there have been, in the last couple of months, a few more awakening. So it's extremely beautiful to witness that. And there comes, of course, a realization that it's not the end of life. Nearly all report that it's the end of searching or seeking, for the home is found, the light of God is found, the natural self has access to come through your vehicles of consciousness. So you realize that you are the self, you are this light of consciousness itself. The next step is advancement. So we keep going forward to work with your soul. Since we have punched through the obstacles to open this light and to recognize it, to realize it, then the next step is to keep advancing your vehicles of consciousness. And that's what happens to teachers and gurus, that when they attain a realization, they take some time to sit into it, to reflect, to witness, to familiarize, to observe and contemplate. And over months and years, the teachers and gurus, when they have this awakening, they get to know what that really is. There are various degrees as well of this awakening, that some souls who are more advanced, they come to full consciousness, they see, okay, that's the self, but the more advanced soul is more empowered soul. It has a greater perspective, a greater familiarity with the whole nature of reality, universe, existence, planes of existence, energies, all dynamics. And since they have this greater capacity, insight, we call it advancement. So this can also be measured. And we see that The advancement is infinite beyond 1000, which is the full consciousness benchmark. And one important clarification comes forward: advancement versus integration. Integration is a big word, and what does it truly mean? What is integration? It has many perspectives, so let's try to clarify it. First, we look at advancement, that the advancement is a certain power. I'm not speaking about siddhis in particular, but I'm speaking about a certain power of light, a certain access to the deeper light of the source. So, for example, if someone is awakened at full consciousness, they have come to the self, this light, to realize that I am that. And this is the level of 1000. And guru or teacher who is at the advancement of 4000, for example, this is where the word Satguru becomes more applicable. That a Sadguru has a greater power of that full consciousness, a more intense light and ability to help others, to awaken others. So the same way, if somebody is at 5 or 6 or 10,000 or whatever up, this power increases of the abiding light. How much this light of full consciousness permeates all the vehicles of consciousness, including this physical body. So this is what advancement means in essence, that there is this greater power. And of course, with that greater power, there certain siddhis awaken as well. Now, these are powers, various psychic powers, various powers of transformation, alignments, attunements, and insights into the nature of existence, clarity of what is this and what is not, and so on and so on and so on. There are hundreds of these powers or siddhis of various kinds. In the future, I will expand on the siddhis. So the powers, the siddhis also can be attained earlier, but they're at that degree. So in whichever way we look, that the advancement in essence is that great light, integration of light, which is also love. It's the same. So at this point, we don't qualify. We don't go into qualities. I speak general. It's that light, power of light, which is the same as love, and so on. So that power can increase infinitely. The power of full consciousness can increase infinitely, and it can, as it does increase infinitely, it shines through all the vehicles of consciousness, the soul and the I am presence and the higher self and physical body. It shines through all the vehicles of consciousness, and also a certain siddhis become available, become natural. But the goal is not to develop the siddhis. We are not chasing the powers. This is important. It's not about attaining powers, like some will want to do this. But I'm speaking about the power of this light of consciousness. So this is the advancement. What power a being has capacity to work with. And the integration For example, if there is a guru at the level of 4,000, so they have access to that degree of power at the level of 4,000 of advancement and integration. Now, this is becoming more clear now, is how long one has used this power, how long one has utilized it, how much one knows or is familiar or knows in its various aspects this power at that level of advancement. So what does that mean now? That means that you can progress very speedily up to a greater power of light of full consciousness, and you can surpass many of the gurus of the past because you connect with even greater power that they did not work with. But now that's where integration comes, that some gurus have spent 10, 20, 30, 40 years teaching, helping others. And that also counts, how much one has utilized this greater light. So somebody who maybe was utilizing the advancement of 1,000 full consciousness for 30 years will be very good at it, will be very considerate, will be very effective, will be very wise how to use it. And we already have students who are advancing well beyond 1,000. And that's where they realize that, yes, I have access to even this deeper light of full consciousness. But that doesn't equal that they're much better than the guru who is, let's say, less advanced, but much more integrated. Advanced in terms of this greater light, but has many more years of helping others. So now we can summarize, and I hope this brings a complete clarity to all of you, that full consciousness is realization who you really are, the light of consciousness. That's it. You are that. You know it. The advancement, you can increase it infinitely, this light of consciousness. You can strengthen it. You can be the mountain of it. It can be so easy for you to administer this light, to share it, bring it to others. This is advancement. It's infinite. How strong this light of consciousness is within you, how much you are adapted to it, familiar with it. And the integration is how many years you have put this power, this light of consciousness into practice. Into practice. Buddha was teaching for over 40 years. This is huge. His time of teaching is one of the longest on earth. Other teachers, they awaken when they're in their 50s or 60s, so they don't have so much time left to teach 10, 20 years, and that's it. They drop the body. So integration is a process, how long one has utilized this power. The advancement is what power you have. Integration is how long you used it. How well do you utilize it? How much you're familiar with it. So this clarifies the key topic, the key understanding of this process. And we already have a list of venerable teachers of the past, gurus of the past. There is a good list available on our website. And we have measured their advancement to our best ability. And in the next months, we will also update their integration or how many years they have used this great power, this great ability, because that is also very, very important. There is also a distinction between degrees of teachers or gurus. For example, yogis or saints. Well, let's say saints. A saintly person usually means that they have developed qualities, beautiful qualities, virtuous qualities. For example, Mother Teresa, she was helping the poor and sick and ill and dying for many, many, many decades. And it takes a big heart to do this. She is a very saintly person. There are many other great humanitarians and saintly people who do a lot of good deeds, who help in a humanitarian way, alleviating suffering for the sick and poor and so on. Now, yogis at the same time tend to focus on the siddhis, on powers, on abilities. And like Yogananda, Paramahamsa Yogananda, he was displaying many of these powers. He said, now I will go into this state for a few hours and I'll stop my heart beating and everybody look at this and oh, it's amazing. He can stop his heart beating. So there are many documented abilities that he developed as a great yogi. Now, there are many Tibetan monks who have spent decades developing certain powers, maybe a levitation power to lift up themselves from the ground, or bend a spoon with your will of the focus, or move an object in the telekinesis, and so on. So there are various powers and siddhis that yogis can develop if they focus for many years on them. Sometimes they come naturally, they get gifted with them. And I was gifted also with many of these siddhis in my first awakening, ability to see through things and dimensions and have cosmic vision and work with energies and witness so many things in the whole universe and read people's minds and past lives and all of these things. And don't come to me to ask to read your past life. Sometimes I do it in a retreat when we're sitting at a fireplace or some long evening and I can look into it if things are aligned. But don't book me to read your past life readings. I will refuse to do this. So essentially, these yogis tend to develop these abilities, powers, and siddhis. Saints tend to develop virtuous qualities, saintly qualities. But neither this nor that equates to full consciousness. Like Mother Teresa, she was a saintly person, an angel on earth in what she did. Many other too, and many yogis were very supernatural in their abilities. But that doesn't equal to full consciousness. It doesn't mean that they know or are connected with their own true self. So that's another big clarification. If you say that, oh, I am now at full consciousness, I'm better than the saint. Well, no, you haven't been helping sick and poor for the last 40 years. You know who you are, and that's amazing. But you are not a saintly person yet. You haven't done the job to be a saintly person. Or you haven't developed these abilities and powers to be a great yogi, like somebody else has. So as we explore these much higher degrees or advanced stages of spirituality, we have to separate things. We can't make it mumbo jumbo anymore. We don't have the luxury of putting it all together in the noodle soup and saying, oh, this person, because he can levitate, he's the highest guru of all, he's the saint, and he's the avatar, and this and this and that. No, no, no. You can't mix it up. So you don't really know what's going on there. Yeah, so okay, he can do this. Is he fully self-realized? At what degree? How much does he know the cosmos about his ability to lift his bum from the floor? Can he liberate somebody else apart from levitating himself? The same thing with bending spoons and moving objects, which would become immediate media sensations. Every Instagrammer and YouTuber would flock around, and it would be all over the news that, this person can move the objects, and suddenly everybody would think this is the new avatar of the new age. So you see what a luxury of ignorance we have as a society. How much we know what's truly going on. How little we know what's truly going on as a society. Yes, so we need to start separating things. That this is this and this is that. Yeah, so abilities are these things. Saintly, virtuous qualities and humanitarian work that's what it is. And therefore, at each of the degrees of spiritual advancement, for example, the avatar, Meher Baba, he was very clear about this as well. If you want to read his talk, it's called The Highest of the High. And he very clearly put in this talk that his duty as an avatar, incarnation of God, as the avatar of the age, his duty is not to do the healings of diseases. Somebody comes with a crippled leg and says, "Can you heal me?" No, that's not my duty to do this. Somebody else came with the possession, with the astral possessions. He gave the blessing, but say, now you can go. This is not my real purpose here on earth to, help people with astral challenges or mental disorders and things like that. So what he did though is he went to see the sadhus. These are the yogis who have entered a deep absorption state called samadhi, but they became dysfunctional. They can't come out of it. They are disoriented from environment, so they just sit under the tree. And they are dysfunctional beings. And in India, there are many of these sadhus, and he visited them and helped them out. Yeah, so his work as avatar, one of the jobs, this is what he did. He visited the sadhus, those who are in samadhi, and helped them out. Now that's a good task for an avatar to do, not to resolve somebody's astral issues, unless he truly felt that this soul will become liberated and this and that, then he would help out. So the duties or the activities of the higher attained beings are varying in the degree. Meher Baba was not interested to shelter the poor and do the jobs that Mother Teresa did. He did things in a different way, at a much higher degree, at a much more cosmic, universal scale. Therefore, he said, I'm not a saint. I'm not a yogi. If you need help from the saints and yogis, go to them. This is what they do. This is their expertise. They will help you out with this. They will help you to do some healing of this or that. They will help you to clear this stuff, the mental astral stuff. To me, you come for something much bigger. Don't bother me with that stuff. That was a very clear approach, what an avatar is supposed to do and not supposed to do either. This is why he wrote a talk, The Highest of the High, where he clarified this. At the same time, there is zero judgment. And if you think, oh, why he wasn't healing the poor? He was doing what he had to do. He knew what he had to do. He did shelter some of the poor in his ashram and so on, but others he said, no, go to someone else. This is not my duty. Yeah, so having this clarity is of extreme importance. And this is why when we get connected to certain spiritual beings of the past or present, when we are ready, and at the same time, you may connect, for example, with Mahavatar Babaji. When you reach the level of awareness, he comes through and he greets you there. He says, hello, you have reached the level of awareness. Here is my blessing. Hello to you. And I will start helping you out. But it doesn't mean that Mahavatar Babaji stops there. First time he greets you when you reach that level. Usually. Sometimes he may greet you earlier, but he'll say, I'll look upon you on your path. And yes, you have my blessing when you're in inner love, if you connect to him, but I'll really bless you when you come a bit higher up to awareness. That's where you truly will feel me, who I really am. But it doesn't mean that he stops there, because you can meet him when you progress even further along the path. You can meet with Mahavatar Babaji on a much higher level. And you say, oh yeah, you met me when I was in 700s awareness. That was amazing. But now I can meet you at a much higher level. And now I can witness your higher form. So the same way with Krishna, that if you were alive at the time when he was alive, you can see his body. He's walking around. And you say, oh, I saw Krishna, I saw Krishna. But you can meet him in inner love stage. If you are in a bhakti path, you can meet Krishna and oh, so much love, and so divine, so divine. Oh, Krishna, so divine. But when you get to divine love, the 850 stage, the second stage of enlightenment, you will meet Krishna much higher up. And when you get to full consciousness, again, you can meet Krishna even higher up. So every being has vehicles of consciousness. And you can meet them in physical, in the astral form, in etheric form, in the cosmic form, in the supracosmic form, and so on. You can meet them at different degrees, and you will witness something deeper, something bigger about them. Just the same way that I can come to a cafeteria and sit down and have a cup of tea, and people are around me and they say, hey, hello, how are you doing? It's nice to see you again. And I say, oh, nice to see you too again. They say, oh, what a peaceful, happy person he is. And I say, oh, thank you, And so they meet me in this physical form, and a bit of, they sense that there's something more. But that's the only thing that they can access, regular people by meeting me. So the same way, when we sit down for meditation, something much bigger becomes available. So when it comes to all the teachers and gurus, we meet them to the level where we are ready to meet them. That's important. And when you become deeper within yourself, you can meet someone much deeper, or you have more clarity to see more clearly what another teacher is. For example, Mahatma Gandhi or Mother Teresa in today's example. She's a saint, yes, but not a self-realized guru or not an enlightened teacher. She's not a non-duality teacher either. She's a saintly humanitarian person who has a very loving, compassionate heart. A great compassion indeed. And that's very rare, and humanity needs that. If we have many more people like this, it would be even better. But that's the activities that she performed. So now we need to get more and more clarity and to separate. We can't mix things anymore, to separate what is what. Full consciousness, yes, that's doable for all of you. But it doesn't mean that you will become a guru or that you will become a saint or you will attain siddhis and powers. And although if you continue working upon it, you will naturally want to help people out. You will naturally want to share this. Advancement is a greater power of this light of consciousness. And integration, it takes years to put it into practice.